I just don't see how people can afford to have a family these days. I don't see how it's possible to comfortably live on an average salary. And it seems like in this day and age, an average salary is just simply not enough. It's just not enough. From what I've seen, people who are working class, people on say 30 to 40,000 pounds a year, which is roughly my salary. It's just it's a struggle, and I just don't see how people can cope, especially having more than one child. Because even if you were to earn above, uh, you know, the average salary, say if you earned 50 to 60 grand a year, you could effectively half your salary on expenses for childcare and all the other bells and whistles that people like to have in their life, like the detached house, the SUV cars, the subscriptions, the holidays, extracurricular activities. It's just so much. I just don't see how people can actually get by and survive. It seems to me, honestly, I think in this day and age, having a family, especially more than one child, it's reserved for the upper echelons of society. It's an absolute luxury to be able to comfortably afford to have a family. It's one thing if you really want children to just get by and survive. I'm not saying it's impossible, but this is part of the reason why I just don't see myself having a family, because it's just too expensive. I just don't know how people do it. It seems like to have a family, you have to have a pretty prestigious job in this day and age. It's not enough to, just be on 30 grand a year. You have to basically have some kind of senior role. You're very technically proficient. You're very skilled. You've got years of experience. You're in a field that's very lucrative. It could be law, nursing, medicine, finance, stuff like that. If money were no object, then maybe, just maybe, I would consider having children. But again, it's not really that. I've said before in other videos, I don't really like the idea of having to raise children full time. It's just not something that I would enjoy, because I require a lot of peace, quiet, and freedom. But people who have money, people who are wealthy, above six figures, millionaires, they can actually afford to still enjoy their lives comfortably. They can pay for childcare. They can pay for nannies. Their wives don't have to be stay-at-home mothers. They can go out, go shopping, go on holiday, go see their friends, and the husbands can go out playing golf and doing all their things that they want to do, and have a great life in general while having a family. But if you're working class, it's a thankless job. It's a non-stop, round the clock, 24/7 job that's going to drain you and age you. So this is why I just think, having children is for the wealthy in this day and age. It's like the middle class are being eradicated, and only the upper class can really thrive and have prosperous futures. Their children can have prosperous future. I mean, I understand that there are people, millions of people across the world, in poor countries, India, Africa, in those parts of the world, they still have children, but it's mainly because it's high death rates there and lack of birth control. But it's high turnover, But it doesn't mean they have got a great life. A lot of the times, it's absolute hell for them. But it's just the way it is, economically. I think people who are richer have less children. I think that's a fact from what I've heard. And the poorer people keep pumping out the babies and stuff. But I don't want to be one of those statistics. I don't want to end up as a person that is, struggling, a divorced single parent. It's like, I can avoid all that stuff. I can avoid all that just by not doing it in the first place. I just see no hope for that situation at all. And there's no way in my lifetime am I ever going to be rich. There's no way I'm ever going to make it big time, unless, of course, I somehow win the lottery. But even then, it's like, what are the odds? I mean, unless you're particularly skilled, you're really smart, intelligent, and you've got the drive to really succeed in life, it's going to be virtually impossible. And you will have to sacrifice all your, well, half your money, You'll have to sacrifice your happiness, your needs, your desires, your free time to be able to sacrifice yourself to have that family. This is why I just don't think it's worth it. If you're an average person, it's just not worth it. It's too much struggle. It's too much hassle, and it's really sad. But it's like unless you got money, you make serious bank. It's just not a lifestyle that I would envy of people. It's only the wealthy people that can have it all essentially and have a great life and happy, low stress, and a family because they got the money to spend on the childcare. In this day and age, with the population having doubled in just the last 50 years since the 70s, it is absolutely insane. It's gone from like 4 billion to 8 billion. It's becoming increasingly harder to establish yourself and stand out from the crowd to get a job and stuff like that. It's just a mad scramble for resources. Everyone's just clambering over each other, trying to fight. We're all trying to achieve like the detached house, the nice cars, the family, this white picket fence Instagram lifestyle that everybody wants, but it's just there's only so much room for all of it. There's only so much resources to go around for everybody to have that. And this is just the nature of life. It's just like this mad scramble, this fierce competition to have it all. Everybody is driven by this kind of self-centered, vain dream. It's just kind of just the way it is, human nature. Unless you have serious brains, serious drive, and you start at a young age, you really work hard on your career, and you make it all the way to the top. You become by your 30s, you're in a really prestigious position. It's like that time threshold where people are expected to have kids. It's like it's just not attainable in the younger years. It's for most people. You find that men get wealthier with age. So by the time I would actually be anywhere near financially well off enough to have one child, I'd probably be in my 50s. And at that age, it's like I'd probably feel too old and I wouldn't have the energy to want to raise a child anyway. So, do you know what I mean? It's just like the barrier to entry is just insane for most people. And it's only the select few people in society that have got the brains and the ambition and the drive from a young age and the luck as well that will be able to make it and have that sort of white picket fence lifestyle with ease. You're trying to work on a career and you're doing all this work to advance in life, to essentially give it away and to be used as a resource. And especially if you don't earn a lot of money where you can have a comfortable lifestyle and actually have the family on top of that, then it seems to me like just a thankless job where you're just existing purely to provide and sacrifice all your own free time and happiness. And for what? It's like this just this idea of having a legacy and you're providing, but if you're not getting anything out of it, you're not happy. You feel like you have no time to yourself and you're struggling. It just seems like a waste. I just don't see where the value is in sacrificing yourself to provide for that reason. You might have people that you love in your life, but if you're if it's just a struggle and you don't have the time to do what you want, you don't have the money to do other things that you want, and you're just having to give yourself all away, you have to give all your money away, you have to give all your time away, and you just lose yourself, you lose your identity, then it seems just kind of like pointless to me. It seems like a waste. It's like why sacrifice your whole life just for this romanticized idea of having a family? I just don't get it.